Joining us next on the show is Shelleen McHale. She's the marketing consultant for the Village of Rochester Hills. Thank you for being with us on the show.
Thanks for having us.
I love, so I'm a shopper, it's no secret. And I think the Village of Rochester Hills has such a unique atmosphere to it that it does draw a lot of shoppers in the summertime. But what happens in the wintertime?
Yeah. Well, I have to be really honest with you. November, December for the Village of Rochester Hills is historically always been a busy time with all of the decorating and the Christmas lights, and it creates kind of that atmosphere you're looking for the holidays. So November and December has always, even though it's cold, it's always historically been that way. Now, when you head into January, February, March, that's a different story, right? So this year we've definitely kicked it up a notch. Let's just say that.
So for those that are going over there for the first time, for those going over there for the first time, what have you changed?
So we're lucky in the fact that a lot of people don't realize this, but the Village of Rochester Hills is a family-owned business, which is huge for people right now with the pandemic going on. They want to support local family, and this is a family-owned property business. So we've been able to kind of, the word of the year, I think, is pivot. And we've kind of taken the fun outdoor experiences that we have done in the past for the holiday and just continued to carry them on through January and February. So I can just share with you what we're doing, and you can jump in at any time if you have questions or want to add, or
I would love that.
Or do you have specific?
I have shopped there hundreds of times, and I never realized it was family owned. So that's one thing that's good about the show is every day we learn something new. But for people that are going over there, maybe this weekend or next weekend, what can they experience?
Well, the first thing that's just generic that you can count on is we do have outdoor dining. So several of our restaurants now have COVID safe outdoor tents that have been approved by the city as well as the health department for airflow quality. So you're going to bundle up. It's not going to be 70 degrees while you're eating, but you have those options. So we have several of those options that you can count on. And then outside, obviously, if you're waiting in line or you want to go shopping in between your stops, you're outside. But the fun things that we have planned is every single Friday night from 4 to 7 p.m., thanks to Shelton Buick GMC, we have an ice carver out here. So you can come on out, plan to stop in and see the live ice carver anytime between that 3 hours, every Friday night, January and February. Saturdays from 5 to 7, we have live music in our fountain park. And then Sundays, we have a sweet truck out here. Usually it's the donut truck. We also have Nothing Bundt Cakes. And then, so those are just kind of the weekends. So you can kind of plan your time. If you can't make it out here Friday, you'll be able to see the ice carvings the rest of the couple of days. And then we're doing a really fun event on January 22nd called Stuff a Snowplow. And we are gathering donations and needed items for the neighborhood house. And for everybody that comes out and donates, Nothing Bundt Cakes in Rochester Hills is giving away buntlets to those people.
I love that. How do you guys come up with some of these events to keep people coming? Because we're also in the middle of a pandemic. Mm-hmm. People tend to stay indoors, or if you're going shopping, you're maybe going to the big mall that is indoors. So to keep those events flowing, to keep people interested, to drive in the traffic, what are those brain sessions like for you and your team?
Well, I mean, we're still planning into the spring COVID safe because we really don't know what we're going to be dealing with for the next couple months. And so when we've been doing our planning, making sure that people feel comfortable and feel safe while they're here is our number one priority. And so our employees and our operations and our maintenance guys, when they're outside, you'll see them with masks on, even though they're outside. And we're always saying, we moved this year to our Santa reservation instead of just showing up. We moved a reservation to make sure there was no crowds that were brought in. Anything that we've done in the past that have brought in a crowd, we've made sure we've spanned it a longer distance so that those crowds don't happen. And these events that we're doing now, we just space out. That's why the ice carver's here for 3 hours instead of 1. You can come by anytime and see him, and you can feel completely comfortable with your mask on outside to be able to witness that. So that still is our number one priority. We can't take that off the table at all.
How did some of your retail outlets do over the holiday season? Was it busier or somewhat normal or slower than years past?
It's kind of funny because we had some of our stores actually having, because there's only a certain number of people that can go into the stores, normally that number fell around 20 people at a time, and they were very seriously monitoring it. So I think that helped. We had lines outside. And so some people may think that's a pain, but I think most people were like, you know what, this is pretty cool. I know when I go into the store, there's not more than the number that's supposed to be in there. And while I'm waiting, I'm standing outside 6 feet apart from the next person. So we did have that happen. And I think people were I didn't get complaints. We didn't get complaints about that. Let's put it that way.
What's going to happen with the anchor store? I believe it was Carson's before, right? And then they closed down. Anything going in there?
Yeah, Von Mar.
When is that going to happen?
Department store out of Chicago. Yeah. So they're slowly starting up their construction. You can start to see construction vehicles out there and things like that. I mean, that's probably, my guess would be a good year-long construction update that's going to happen. That's a 100,000 square foot building, so it's big, but yeah, we're excited.
So with that, whenever I go to the Village of Rochester Hills, it's not just, for me, I don't just go there for one thing. You go there to shop, kind of peruse the stores, but it's also about dinner. Yeah. So how is it working with the restaurants right now? Some of the ones that do have the outdoor dining, do you have to have a reservation? Because some of the restaurants around here, you have to have that reservation for that igloo pretty early.
Yeah. So we have P.F. Chang's, which has a pretty substantial size outdoor area. We have Cruz Amir that has outdoor. We have Mitchell's that has outdoor. So those are our three that have been pretty active. I can tell you carryout is crazy. So I kind of giggled when the Attorney General said, let's everybody get carryout tonight when he ended his segment, because carryout has been crazy. Mitchell's, I know you have to have a reservation. They're trying really hard to make sure that they have that taken care of, but Cruz Amir is first come, first serve. So it just kind of depends on which one you're looking to go to.
Do you find people are more comfortable going to the Village of Rochester Hills to shop rather than a typical indoor shopping arena such as Somerset during COVID?
So I can just give you an example, and I won't say names, but I have a 21-year-old daughter who wanted to go and take some things back after Christmas. And she said she literally took about 10 steps into a regular mall and literally backed up because she just was somewhat overwhelmed with the number of people that were inside. And she's like, I just didn't feel comfortable. I couldn't do it. So I would say absolutely people feel more comfortable. We also offer, a lot of our stores do curbside. So if you order online, you can just pull up and they'll bring items out to you. Same thing with our restaurants. We have parking spots that are set aside for carryout. So you pull up, you call, and they bring it out to you. So we're trying to do things to make our customers feel more welcome. And the way, if you haven't been, you've been here, but if you haven't been here before, the way that we're created is there's a main street right down the middle. So it's very easy for you to pull up in front of stores and be somewhat close if you just have to come and pick something up quick.
Well, what I love too, though, is you have a bookstore again.
I know.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's been a really big hit. I'm not going to lie. And it's right there, right by our fire pit. It's where our music is going. And there, you just sit for an hour and watch the people go in and out of that store. It's wonderful. Yeah, I was very excited about that.
So with that, can I ask you, before we let you go, just another minute or two here with you on the MegaCast, but before we let you go, what do you think has been the positive out of the pandemic for you and members of your team and for the Village of Rochester Hills that you think may stick around post-pandemic?
Yeah, well, I think that for any outdoor mall, right? When we initially built Mr. Akins, they owned Meadowbrook Mall, and then he decided to create this outdoor mall. And many people thought he was crazy. Like, you're in Michigan. What are you? You know what I mean? He had the foresight to see that it was going to be a success. And I will tell you that now outdoor malls are the ones that are going to, out of all the malls with this pandemic, are the ones that are going to come out at the top. And so I just think overall people are going to feel more comfortable shopping at outdoor centers than they are indoor centers. And I mean, I can't say or predict who's going to make it, who's not going to make it, but I think being an outdoor facility has definitely helped us through the pandemic for sure.
Quickly, before we let you go, if people want to check out your calendar of upcoming events, is there a website that they can go to?
It's thevorh.com, VORH, stands for the Village of Rochester Hills. So it's the VORH.com. And we're pretty active on Facebook and social media as well. There's an events page on our website and then our Facebook and Instagram.
Well, Shelleen McHale with us on the MegaCast. She's the marketing consultant for the Village of Rochester Hills. Thank you so much for your time. We do so appreciate it on this Friday, and Happy New Year to you and members of your team.
Hopefully we'll see you at the Village soon.
I go there way too often.
Well, we like to hear that. We like to hear that.